I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I want to share with you a really delicious and simple marinade that you can make for the entire spring and summer season. It is what I call my Greek chicken marinade. You can do this on chicken thighs, you can do this on chicken breast, you can do this on shrimp. You just wouldn't want to marinate the shrimp or any kind of fish for a long time because there's acid, so you kind of want to marinate it for 5-10 minutes and then go ahead and pop it on the grill. But it would be delicious. I'm going to share with you with chicken breast today because it happens to be what I have on hand, but this works just as good, if not better, with boneless, skinless chicken thighs. So let me run you through the list of ingredients. It's very short and sweet, kind of like me. You'll need your chicken breast, of course. I have got about 1.5 pounds. Make sure they're not too thin or too thick. Otherwise, too thin, they'll dry out. Too thick, they won't cook all the way through evenly. Then in here, I've got dried oregano, dried basil, and some dill weed. I've got lemon, garlic, Dijon mustard, fresh chopped dill, and I've got some onion. You also need red wine vinegar. You need some olive oil and some salt. So let's get going. I'm going to use my mortar and pestle here because what I want to do is I want to grind up my dried herbs because there's so much of it. If I don't, then I feel like you get the really dry pieces of the herbs on the outside of the chicken and it's not really pleasant to me. But if that doesn't bother you, then you can skip this step. But what I do is I just kind of grind it up in here just till it's about half. See, it's like really, really coarse. I want half of it to be almost pulverized and then the other half can stay pretty whole. That is what I want. And you know what's really amazing as well? When you do this with any kind of dried herbs and spices, it brings them to life. It almost like opens them up. It smells outrageously good in here. And all we did was grind up my basil, oregano, and dill weed. But that is what I want. Pop that in there. Now, for the garlic and the onion, I don't want chunks of this because I don't want this to burn on the grill. And I also kind of want that to be part of the marinade. So I use a coarse grater and I just grate them in there. You can just chop them really finely by hand. It's fine, no worry. I use 2 cloves of garlic for 1.5 pounds, which is pretty garlicky, but I think that that's sort of like what makes it, you know what I mean? I've never been to a Greek restaurant and not had a very, very garlicky anything. Like everything is super garlicky, which is what I like. And then I take 1/2 of a small onion and I do the same thing. I kind of just grate it right in there. Add your Dijon mustard and your fresh chopped dill. Ooh, my eyes are like on fire. And then you need lemon juice. Fall off my hand. You need lemon juice and red wine vinegar. Combo of both is what makes this so good, along with some extra virgin olive oil. You use regular olive oil or extra virgin, whatever you fancy. And like I said, this would be equally, if not more delicious on chicken thighs. Just saying. Plus, boneless, skinless chicken thighs are half the price and twice the flavor of chicken breast. So always keep that in mind. It just happens to be what I have on hand, and you know me, I waste nothing. And whatever you see is really what we eat here in Laura in the Kitchen. So when Mama's got fresh chicken breast on hand, that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to add a good pinch of salt. That way it's got a good chance for the salt to really penetrate and marinate my chicken. This is the thickness of your breast. You see, I would say they're about 1/2 inch thick, maybe a little bit bigger, maybe about 1 inch thick. Any thicker than that, then I feel like they wouldn't cook properly. Any thinner, well, they're gonna just dry out. Coat them in that really beautiful marinade. And I am going to just pop these into the fridge for several hours. Like I said, if you were doing this with fish, which would be delicious on shrimp or any like sturdy fish that you can grill, you just wouldn't want to do this for hours. You wouldn't want to do this for maybe 10 minutes. Otherwise, the acid would cook your fish and it would turn it into ceviche, which is delicious, but not the point of this. So I'm going to cover this up. I'm going to pop this in the fridge for a few hours and then I'll show you when it goes on the grill. My chicken was on the grill for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. You just have to keep an eye on the thickness of your chicken. You want to make sure that doesn't overcook. And now I want to show you how I am going to serve it because I think it makes this really special. And I think if you've got people coming over last minute and you don't want to make a big production and making a bunch of different courses, I think you can make just this, serve it with some warm pitas, maybe a glass of chilled white wine, and it will be perfection. I love picky foods like antipasti, something like that. I love it. So let me show you what I've got here on my board. I've got some beautiful tomatoes, I've got hummus, I've got chunks of really good feta, cucumbers, I've got olives, got a little pepperoncini, and I just sprinkled them with some dill, salt and pepper, really excellent quality extra virgin olive oil, and I also have some tzatziki as well, which I love to serve with the chicken. You can do this with pita, you can put all of this on top of a salad, but I think the entire thing together is absolutely a money maker and everybody would love it, and you could feed a lot of people on 1.5 pounds of chicken, which is always a bonus in my opinion. I mean, the chicken is so juicy, right? It's so, it's perfectly cooked. It tastes like $1.5 million. That's a number. And it's everything that you want from a good grilled chicken. Minimal effort, maximum pleasure, maximum flavor. And that is what I am all about, especially around this time of year where you've got people dropping over unannounced a lot and you want to make something really delicious and really easy. And you don't want to make yourself crazy. And these are also things that you can have on hand as well. Use some store-bought hummus, use store-bought tzatziki if you want to, but I think that is pretty perfect. Scatter some lemon wedges around because I personally really love that with dill and cucumber and tomato and the chicken. Phenomenal. And you've got a dinner that everybody will remember. Hopefully, don't remember it too well because they'll come over the next night. I'm gonna take this piece of chicken. Go in the kitchen, write a recipe. Hope you enjoy spending time with me. I'll see you next time. Bye. That is